Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and today we're going to talk about mixing and matching old cymbals for playing jazz. So I set up a variety of modern and older cymbals today. As you all know, I have lots and lots and lots of cymbals. I've done several videos on jazz ride cymbals and hi-hat cymbals and flat rides and all kinds of stuff. But a big question I get from a lot of you, and I'm spending this week doing videos about all these questions, trying to get them all in here before the big holiday rush. One of the biggest and most common questions I get are about cymbals and can I mix and match them on the kit, about the old Ks and the newer cymbals like Istanbuls, Bosphorus. There's so many cymbal manufacturers. There's a lot of little boutique cymbal manufacturers now that make great cymbals. It's never been a better time to buy good cymbals. The thing is, the old Ks had a particular sound, and a lot of that might be reflected by the aging of the cymbal. This particular cymbal's from the 1940s, so it's, it's got some age on it. It's about 80 years old. You're not going to be able to recreate that right away, and who knows what alloy they were using. This old K is from the 1950s, and this particular Istanbul, you can still get these. This is just a Jazz Ride Special Edition 21. One of my students just found a really nice one. This one has a couple rivets in it, maybe 3 rivets I poked in there. It's very, very similar to the old K sound. As you'll hear today, just a little bit different. But these cymbals can be had for, I guess about $500 or $600, which is a lot of money, but one of these old Ks is going to set you back thousands and thousands of dollars. And the bottom line is most of the old Ks were bad. They sounded bad. I've probably played 100 of them in my career. I own about 20 of them. And this is my favorite ride. It's the one I use when I do all my jazz drum set videos. And this one also. And I do gig with these cymbals as well. But most of the old Ks, they hummed. They had bad tone. They cracked because they were so soft. They had horrible keyholing because people used them without protection. In other words, without a cymbal sleeve. They just put them raw on the metal. And of course, after a week, that just creates a huge keyhole. So most of them are in disrepair. But every once in a while, you'll find a good one. The things you need to watch out for if you're buying them online is cymbal hum. I also spoke about that in an earlier video. So, you can get a bad one really easy. I had heard stories about guys who used to go into the Gretsch factory in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and try to find Ks, and they'd have to go through literally 100 of them before they found one that they thought sounded good. So that's crazy. So there's a lot of bad ones out there. There were thousands and thousands of them made, and most of them, I would say, were not very good. So be really careful when you spend $4,000 on a ride cymbal. I'm not sure if they cost that much, but just be really careful. But these are good ones. All these cymbals, I've recorded with them, I've gigged with them. They don't hum bad. All cymbals hum a little. The thing is to get that hum not to be a particular high pitch, and you want it, if there is a hum, a low pitch that's very, low in the mix of the cymbal as compared to stick response. In other words, the ping or the attack of the cymbal. You want any kind of hum to be way under that in the volume. I call it hum to noise ratio, or hum to signal ratio. So if we just listen to this cymbal, I'm going to play it pretty hard, and let's see if we can hear some hum. I don't hear much at all where I am. And again, I've been using this cymbal for, 35 years now. So it's been a great recording cymbal as well. Now this one does have a little bit of hum. See if you can hear it. So I hear it. It's way down low, though, in pitch and in volume. Okay? Most of the 18s had a hum. Now, this Istanbul is a really nice cymbal, and most of the ones I've heard of this series sound good, but they all sound different, so you're going to want to make sure there's a sound file if you're buying it online. We'll play you this one. I hear a little hum, just a hair. But again, the hum to signal ratio or hum to noise ratio is really low. So what you want to look for is the hum that overtakes the cymbal. But as far as a mix and match, these are very good together. And what you want to look for in these cymbals for playing jazz are cymbals that are not necessarily well, definitely not exactly in pitch, because what's the point? You want to look for a cymbal you can ride on and you can crash on. I learned this from Mel Lewis, from watching him at the Vanguard all those years, and all his cymbals, he could ride on them and he could crash them, and he did that. So I always made it a point when I play jazz, so I could have different ride sounds for different soloists or sections of the tune, to have all of my cymbals be ride cymbals and crash cymbals, as these are. So this 18 is the heaviest of the bunch as far as thickness, but it also has the most impact. So again, mixing and matching. I am mixing this newer cymbal with these old ones. Sounds great. Don't worry about doing that, okay? Also, brands, you know, I'm a Paiste endorser, I think still. I haven't spoken to them in about 20 years, but I do have a lot of Paiste cymbals they sent me. I don't do any kind of clinics or advertising for them at all anymore. But I use all, if you watch, I use lots of mix of Paistes and K Zildjians and A Zildjians and Sabians. I love Sabian cymbals too. So you'll always see me play with mixing collections of cymbals. Always. I rarely ever use the same brand of cymbals all at once. If they sound good, they are good, in my opinion, as Duke Ellington said. If it sounds good, it is good. Now, these hi-hats are Sabian HH. They're some of my favorite hi-hats. I like small hi-hats. These are 13s. I use these a lot for all kinds of music. Now, just to show you one thing, I did take out a pair of 15-inch old K hi-hats. Ouch. Don't do that. These are considered by many people the holy grail of hi-hats. They're hard to find, good ones. So the bottom one should be much, much heavier. At least 200 grams, in my opinion, heavier than the top. You see the difference in the lathing and the thickness, okay? So don't just put together two 15-inch crash cymbals and hope for the best. That's not going to work. They need to be original, matched up. And one will say top, okay? That's how you'll know. This used to say it. It's faded away. All right, so let's see if this clutch fits, and it does. Now, these old Ks, they do wear out. And I've talked about this in my hi-hat cymbal video. You know what? We're going to have to take this clutch off because it's not going to work, but just give me a second, and I will talk while I do it. So what would happen is the edge here, the metal was so soft, the brass, that it would literally wear out, and then you'd lose your chick sound, okay, which was a problem. And these still have some life left in them. Now, what you can do is you can take it to one of the many great cymbal guys around and have them relathe it. So they would just basically take a tool like you use for wood turning. You know, it's not a wood turning tool, it's a metal turning tool, but it looks the same, and lathe out those dull areas, and then you're good to go. And I'm thinking about having that done with a few of my hi-hat K sets. I have 4 sets of K hi-hats, a 13, 2 14s, and these 15s. So that's something you can do if you buy a used set to rescue them. All right, here they are. And you'll hear the difference immediately. So you hear the open sound there. Now I'm going to get a little more height on these, and you'll hear the chick sound. If you want to let out the inner Tony Williams in you, these are great for that because they're so big. Now, they're not loud cymbals. That's one thing you got to understand. The old Ks, especially the highest, were very, very thin. And so you're not going to get a lot of volume like you will with the more modern heavy cymbals. But they are dark, so they blend well. Okay, so they have a voice for sure. So I hope this helps with the mixing and matching, and also this takes care of two things, and the question about the bigger and different hi-hat cymbals. Always feel free to mix and match. Use your ear. Let that be the guide. Don't worry about what anybody says or tells you. I've always used my ear to play what I like. So there's no rules for this, okay? But the tips I can give you is, again, all your cymbals in jazz should be able to crash and ride. You want to go on the thinner side for recording, okay, so it's not annoying. You want to avoid cymbals that hum for recording especially. That becomes annoying real fast. And don't be afraid to use different size hi-hat cymbals, 15s, 13s. Sometimes I even use 12s. I have a set of 12-inch remix cymbals you've seen me play, I'm sure, on this channel that I love. They're very quiet, but they're really fast and they feel good. So, you know, you can do that. I'll just play a little for you and we'll call it a day.